So let's start with that actually. So you guys are in ProCFO, you guys having everything, stay around. So what are the three main things that you guys provide to your potential customers?
One of the things, number one, we're listening, when we meet a new client, we're listening to what their pain point is. So we are going to address their pain point. But if you look at our 6 pillars of where we look at, the main 3 or the top 3 is the goals and strategies of the company. Where do you want to be? How are you going to get there? The next thing we're looking at is their revenue model. How is it that you're generating revenue? Are you getting any revenue streams out? Or can you improve any revenue streams? Why do clients choose to go with your firm versus the one down the street?
Yeah, why customers choose you instead of the next one door.
That's right. Systems and processes become one of the next big things that we look at. What are the systems and processes, the KPIs? How are you generating those? In some cases, they don't have it. So we need to start working on getting some more. We also look at profit improvement. That's where the cost comes in. Reporting is another one. Sometimes companies are running successful companies. They don't even have decent reporting to go with. Or their books closed 3 months ago, 4 months. You'd be surprised how many companies we meet in large revenue dollars that just have not been able to close their books for one reason or another.
And it's kind of funny because, especially here in the States, all of us talk about technology, but when you start in the process of scaling up a particular kind of company, processes, discipline, and things that are supposed to be in place, like huge corporations have, they are not there. And the other thing that happens is when you start trying to be different as a company and start to growing, it's kind of hard to tell what's going to be the arista that help you out to be different to the one next door. And that's what I think, what you guys are doing in CFO, what we're doing in technology, actually will enable, let's explore this new avenues. Right? Let's make sure, the same way that there's a formal process to do a particular investment on a building, on a machinery, or whatever, infrastructure is also something that needs to be looked at and see how you can actually
follow the blueprint, right? Follow a successful blueprint that has worked and then put action steps to go and achieve.
Exactly, and even we've noticed, especially after the pandemic, multiple companies are popping up. They're trying to be disruptive. They're trying to do a traditional company, like a Walmart or Publix. And one of the cases that I like a lot is Aldi's. Small, trim, fast. They're very innovative. I noticed that they set up in these kind of point of sales very quickly. No people in the aisles, and of course, how to manage inventory is incredible. And the result is very competitive prices by far compared to Walmart and the Publix. So they got the financials, they know how to manage the cash, and in order to do all of that in a timely manner, they have to have some kind of infrastructure, technology in place, so they can actually accomplish those kind of things.
Otherwise, when do you know when to order what, and how old the LIFO or FIFO inventory is? Exactly. Whatever they're following in their own world. So, I think it's a good point.
So let's go in order, because now we kind of know where you're coming from, where we were coming from. So for our potential customers, what we're trying to touch is, what exactly is market valuation? What is it? Because everyone wants to set up a business, everyone wants to start going from $1 million to 10 million to 100 million. But at the end of the day, the overall financial market, what else the overall industry says, what's your company value? How do you guys measure?
Well, for these startup entrepreneurs, younger companies, what we're looking at is, depending on the industry you're in, there's different EBITDA multiples that you utilize. And EBITDA is obviously a margin above net income, where you take away depreciation, amortization, all the fake expenses or non-dollar expenses. And then you multiply it times 10, and that is what the street is willing to pay in a renewable space, for example, versus a mom and pop grocery store maybe 2 times your EBITDA. So there, you either got top line growth or you got shrinkage in cost. And that's how you get to a better EBITDA.
Exactly. Now, let's explore those 2 options. Let's go first to the top one, because that's the beauty. Everyone sees, hey, I'm growing my business, I'm capturing the market, I'm the mind share, which is important. But however, there are limitations, physical limitations. And multiple companies jump into a particular kind of market. Let's say, for example, you're discussing about real estate. So if you and I want to set up a new company based on real estate, we need to capture market, but we need to figure out how to do it better, faster, different. And so how is that important to the financial work? Yes, you got an initial model, how are you gonna do to increase it?
I mean, maybe give me a little bit more on that.
Sure.
You're saying that how we're going to grow the top line.
Exactly. So how I get more customers?
Right.
How do I understand who they are, where they are, what they do, what kind of profiling, what already sold to them, what additional stuff I can cross-sell, upsell, or whatever, or how I can actually take this market that is completely untapped and be ready with local infrastructure and partners, how to reach out to those.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these entrepreneurs that we deal with, or clients, either it could be a family practice, it could be, and digital marketing has been working quite a bit, the pay-per-click space for them, mailers of all kinds, or quite frankly, just saying and putting a goal together, I'm going to grow 5 offices next year. So that's got to be in your plan. So I'm not sure if I'm answering what you said.
No, you are absolutely.
Every little industry that we bump into has a little different nuance to it. Sometimes we just move into a state and they take over. They don't need to acquire a company, because that's another way to grow.
Organic.
You can acquire that company. So sometimes they'll go in and just become number one, like we did in the solar space a couple of years ago.
But how you grow it? Let's say we're gonna do organic because it's the easier, right? So you start going into multiple states.
Yes.
There has to be a basic infrastructure in place.
Yes.
A playbook.
Yes. It has to be repeatable, scalable, sustainable.
Let's remember playbook.
Right.
Now, the playbook involves multiple areas: people, processes, technology overall, and whatever the common things I'm going to offer anyway. Now, one thing that I think everyone still does not understand is the difference between telecommunications and IT. Because as you start moving through multiple states, local in the states, or even international, if you don't have the proper telecommunications, not to be, like an instant communication, but close enough, nothing what you're going to put on top is useless.
Right. So the foundation
Exactly.
has to be strong.
Telecom has to be corporate telecommunications, not the ones that we had at home. Because we're kind of deceived, like we got X amount of bandwidth, I can do whatever. No, there's a delay, there is a jittering, so telecommunication needs to be in place.
And then redundancy.
Redundancy.
Right. I mean, if you don't have a backup plan to the plan,
It's
it starts to scale up.
exactly. Now that's it. Now, the next question: do we do an actual physical office, or we need to explore a virtual one, or maybe a hybrid? Maybe I don't need to, as a company, I don't need to open a new branch. Who I can partner with in the particular market, who knows exactly the ins and outs of what it works, what doesn't work. And we as a company, we provide all the back office services. And then I need to enable that company to come into ours, open up my system, securities in place, and they can actually focus on how to do market and selling.
Right. Yeah, and every industry is different, right?
Exactly.
Some are going to require, the family practice is going to require a doctor's office to go visit. But you're right, in some cases, it could be virtual or a hybrid.
And that's going to be an option for the CEOs, for the entrepreneurs to have, okay, this should be part of, exactly, what makes sense for them.
Right.
And even because as I start planning how to grow the market value, that will give you options. Should I do it, or should I partner, or how can you help me out?
Remember we talked about the golden strategy was kind of the biggest thing we need to look at as we get into a client. That's what you need to discuss a lot of ways of. You want to grow exponentially over the years, but how do you want to do that? It's not going to be by snapping your fingers. So you have to either grow international, US, offices, no offices. Does it make sense? Don't run the numbers. You model it out.
You need to plan your investments, and of course, cash flow is important.
That's right.
Because here's another thing that also happens. For that infrastructure needs to be in place, either physical, and virtual, or with partnerships, you need to buy it, or you can list it, or put it on the cloud, and it will depend. Depending
on the person, the business. Yeah. I like the cloud myself.
Everyone loves the cloud. It's kind of hard for everyone to understand.
I'll tell you a quick story. I had a company in North Carolina. They were on QuickBooks, not online. They had a desktop server. And one of the hurricanes came in through Charlotte. We lost 7 days of accounting data.
Oh my God. The office was down, the computers out.
Everything back. And our IT department had not backed up nightly the way they should have for 7 days. You know what that meant?
Of course.
That meant a lot of recreation and good luck getting it all right.
Oh, and actually for that particular case, right? Because most likely, since they have this kind of centralized kind of model, they got all kind of hard copies of everything. Of course, I mean, the data was lost because of the computers or no access to it. So, but you still got a business to run. So someone had to come in, take the hard copies, and start either data entry or doing some kind of digitalization or something, because you need factual data to actually run a business. Otherwise, you got nothing.
Right? Can you imagine I owe Edgar $100 and it just disappears? And if I don't find it again, Edgar's gone with $100, or I'm gone, or I mean, it was a mess. Salesforce in that case was a cloud.
Okay.
Then we moved over to NetSuite, which was a cloud. So we learned our lesson. It's a hard lesson to learn. So that's things you want to educate in that systems and processes. Bring your experience.
Which goes back to the papers.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of fun. I mean, here in the States, we're so into sports. And you can see all the coaches, play 1, play 2, play 3. If it happens this, we're going to do this. Let's practice everyone, and let's go about. We need to do that as well in the big
I agree with that.
It's a discipline. Now, you and I were working, well, you and I know for 23 years. And it's kind of funny because, I mean, we were working in manufacturing. It was technology. But the weirdest thing about all is we were exactly in the middle. We were representing a corporation who manufactures everything. We were in a region managing the customers, and we were in between
shipping.
Exactly. We were managing the customer. We were doing the delivery. We were doing the support. We were managing a $1 million organization, and the corporation held us accountable for the top line, for the bottom line, and they didn't care. It's corporation. What they wanted is, okay, tell me what your budget is, tell me your plans, tell me what you're managing, and they were actually giving us cash to operate on it.
That's right. And if the budget or forecast is going to slip, what are you going to do about it? Right? Cut costs.
Exactly.
Or the top line, back to the
we're going to how to increase the value.
Right.
Which is, and we were technology, and the funny part is that was back in 2000. Now it's 2023, and sometimes I feel that the war is catching up what you and I have been doing for the last 23 years. And the idea is how we translate that particular kind of discipline, the lessons learned, to the core environment that entrepreneurs, market startups start to happen, so they can actually benefit from and they can increase their market value. Okay, so we talked about top line, we kind of understand it, how to reach new customers, how to penetrate market, what kind of basic infrastructure needs to be in place, do we need to buy it, do we need to lease it, do we need to put it in the cloud. That's how to grow. Perfect. Now, let's talk about operational costs. You mentioned data. You mentioned the particular case in Charlotte. It's important to have the right data at the right time. Otherwise, it's useless.
Timely reporting is everything. Because already, by its very nature, you're looking in the rearview mirror to a number from last month. So you got to now add some insight and go to the future. But as accountants, the typical accountant or controller, different than a CFO, is going to look at the rearview mirror and look backwards at the number. They'll tell you, how did I do against last year? How did I do against the prior month? Okay, you can do all this one forward. And that's where you need that timely data, not 3 months after the books go. You need it exactly
as close as to
3 days, 4 days after the company, the month goes.
Now, however, it's kind of funny because you and I know for a hard start, that's not really the case. The larger the company, the more challenges they have to actually ensure those kind of things, to have timely data. I don't think it's because of lack of systems. I would say it's more like about processes, about the people, and maybe as you said it, change of the cultural aspect from the accounting perspective to the CFO perspective to actually make proper decisions on a timely manner. Based on your experience, based on what you have seen, the corporations that you have been working with, as a percentage of sales, how much they spend in technology in order to be ready? What the numbers are you seeing?
It depends on the company, but the ones that I have seen, you're talking about maybe 10-15% overall margin on the bottom. Employees benefits top, right? So IT, I'm going to say maybe 10-15%.
Okay, but overall, right?
Overall.
All IT, people, hardware, software, building seats,
right.
Everything.
Licenses,
everything. And usually, or everything.
Licenses are expensive.
Usually, it's a cost center, which by by definition, needs to have some very strange limitations. But what about this? What if we, especially based on everything that is happening with it being disruptive and innovative, how we start working as a company, as a vision, as a goal, to turn technology from cost center to a profit center and helping every single organization? Then I think it will be a fair way to measure progress, goals, and if the actual investment works, keep actually adding, because that's how we used to do it on the physical work. Why not do it? And I think now we got accessible technology and accessible use, proven use case to actually show that everything works. Let's talk about a little bit now examples so the people who listen to us can compare. So let's talk about, have you seen here, you have in Miami this kind of new company called Carvana?
Carvana, sure. You order the car, you look it online, maybe it's on a beautiful glass tower, you can see it, but then they come and deliver it to your house. Have a nice day. By the way, you can sell it back the other way.
Which is kind of funny because here in South Florida, what we got are dealerships, left and right. No matter which car it is, you got the traditional ones. However, these companies, you said it, they got this kind of look-alike elevator. You got parked all kind of cars there. You go with your credit card and you actually go and choose and pick. I want this or I want that. I want this or I want that. So it's kind of funny. This is exactly what we're discussing. New company, new entry to the market, on purpose decided to use technology overall. I mean, in this case, they decided to go with an elevator. And there are no salespeople. It's a mix between an elevator and an ATM. You go, you buy, and it delivers. So you can imagine all the technology and all the financial processes that need to be behind. Because can you imagine someone walks away with a car, it's a liability, and it goes. So we need to make sure that we got money first. And
make sure that accounts are clear.
Exactly. And we know the escrow accounts, we know everything and everything. So that's a case to the extreme. Go to the ATM, take out my card, and I go. Or whenever they want to buy the cars from us, it's exactly the same. We take possession of the asset, and we need to make sure we pay. Otherwise, I mean, we'll have the liability that we're still in the company.
I mean, that's one of the most pain points is going to a dealership. If you ask everybody on this call or anywhere, when you go to a car dealership, you just get all like tight inside, and I'm gonna get this guy. Because the last thing I do, I'm gonna get a discount. You know very well they don't even discount that. So why not cut all of that out? So I like that concept. I've never used it, but it's something that's disrupting the market. And CarMax did it a little bit, where just come and make it nice and easy for you. These guys are taking it to another level.
Well, traditional leadership, I mean, it used to take like 4 to 6 hours process. I mean, as soon as you decided to actually buy, it was like 4 to 6 hours process with all the paper and everything. CarMax did it better. Usually, I think it did it down to a couple hours. But now this Carvana can do it. It's literally, you walk, you get, you walk. So this is kind of thing encompasses what we discussed at the beginning. And even that's why the market valuation of this kind of company is there, because it's a new market. You set up, this ATM elevators look alike. It's a very competitive price, and the time and the service and the loyalty you get for experience, it's actually what trying to make sure that they offer something different.
And how do you expand that all over if you don't have, back to that same concept?
This is another example. Something I think everyone is very familiar with. WeWork. Why have humongous buildings? Back in our history, back to the 2000s, we used to have here in Miramar a huge facility. We built it up for 5,000 people, and at the end of the day, after the crisis, we were barely 300. We could split and everything else.
That's right.
Now we got WeWork, which pretty much is a concept like the way guys see us over here. There's open space. You buy, you rent what you need.
Coffee, water, admin services. You don't need to pay for it. I mean, it's
an advantage. WeWork as itself is a good example of market evaluation, disruptive, going to the market. If we as a company want to go into particular new state, local, or region, whatever, we can use this kind of facilities and services. We can save the money, we can focus on the cost. So I think that's the reason that company exists.
Right.
And it's proven. We're not saying that it's perfect, But it's actually, like anything in the market, all from demand, needs and everything, and it started balancing out to see exactly where it's going.
Yeah, working from home at work, but now everybody's asking you to come back. And if you're not physically in the city, we work. Have everybody at least collaborate together. Because everybody's missing that. I love getting together with teams and getting to see people because collaboration is missing nowadays, especially the younger generation. Right? My daughter, for example, she's in marketing and she's missing it. It's all from home. There's no coffee break, there's no changing of ideas, getting to know, break the barriers of the person. So we work office in a new market.
I've seen the last one, I think if I'm not wrong, it's in the 5 billion. So that's kind of funny, and that's something that defines how we do business in North America. It's not just the service, the goods or the service that you need to produce, it's actually now companies by itself. It's a product or service by itself, because you want to build it to a certain point, you get the valuation you want, and then you define your exit strategy to keep growing or to sell it out. So that's what is important.
Have the strategy. What is it?
And I think using the cash that you guys are managing, the technology we can offer, we can accomplish that. Increase market valuation in a very short period of time.
That's right. And like you said, which is one of the flywheel items I forgot to mention is the cash flow. We look at that cash flow, 13 weeks. Some companies do not even have the cash flow reporting. So within 13 weeks, they don't even meet payroll sometimes. Because remember, accounts receivables owed, you pay, people don't pay you on time, you start having cash on it. Large companies can have it as well.
Well, the thing is, the smaller, percentage-wise, right? Cash is important because it's going to be tied to the percentage of sale that they have.
Yeah.
So in some cases, it's still going to be stringent because otherwise you're not going to make payroll. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter the size. Cash flow is important to measure whatever that is.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
So let's start summarizing a little bit so we can wrap it up. I think what you and I agree is we need to add value to our company so that we increase the value, both sides. The other thing is, in order for you and CFO and us on technology, in order to make a difference, the first thing when you start working with any company is to make an assessment today, where we are, what it works, what does not work, the beauty, the ugly, what I have, what I'm missing, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, and that will help us to define the playbook, the strategies, and all of us in agreement say, perfect, this is how we're going to work.
In our world, we call that the onboarding process, right? Within those first few months, we need to understand everything you just said. I'm not sure.
And we need to put metrics around it, because otherwise, having a playbook with not having KPIs, especially per function, per company, put dashboards and put metrics to help drive the business. To consciously, as you said, not looking to the backward, to look forward, so we can actually make proper decisions in the proper time. So that's important. So that's another case in which you and I need to work together and make sure the whole infrastructure is to be in place so we can actually accomplish it. And then we need to start measuring.
Just like a gauge, you still heard the commercial, right? The gauge in a car is there for a reason. Well, if you don't have any gauges, how do you know where you've been, how you're going, and how you're doing?
And we don't need to make it that complicated, right? Because I think the beauty about these dashboards, the 3 colors, green, yellow, or red.
I call that el farolito. Always the street light.
But the funny thing is, the market will give us an idea what farolito needs to be in place, what would be a color, but for every business needs to be different. And here again, with the expertise that you guys provide from the CFO, from the expertise that we provide for the company, we can fine-tune those farolitos. And for a particular kind of industry, for a particular kind of market, we can say, okay, it's not 10, it should be 8, and based on those kind of numbers, it's going to be green, yellow, or red.
No, that's right. Let's go. And that's you need a dashboard. Let's measure it, and if not, tweak it and move.
Exactly. It's a business. Challenges are going to be in place, but the sooner we understand why we're failing, we can have lessons learned, evolve, and go back and put things in place.
Think about a car. Now it's yellow, red, whatever the gas tank is. What's going to happen? In just about a couple miles, right? It runs out.
And the other thing is, one of the sports that I like the most is, of course, F1. And in that case, it's all about speed. Speed everywhere. I mean, not just driving the car. One of the things that I like the most is the pit stops. 2.4 seconds.
They're quick.
Everything is to
add oil.
everything and anything, 2.5 seconds flat. But you need to be prepared. You need to play this. You need to know who you are. You need to, this kind of relation that you and I are building from the CFO perspective, from the technology perspective, putting everything in place. The goal is clear. It's in this case, market evaluation, and needs to be assessed.
And like everything else, we'll leave it with this. You need the right team, you need the right players, the right help. So you defending your company, I'm defending what we do as a CFO versus anybody else who says they're a CFO doesn't have the collective thinking that we might have in a company that has 50 CFOs that we can leverage, understand this. And then you guys are bringing in firepower.
Well, one of the things that we tell the companies is, from the FPG perspective, our business is to do IT outsourcing, using technology, creating services. Within the companies, traditionally, they got a very small team with the limited resources, with the limited knowledge, or even the great talent they might have. But over a period of time of the year, the chances are that on our side, we're going to do 100 different kind of projects for the same topic, when within the company with their own resources might do it only one. So similar to you guys, I mean, you guys bring all this kind of speed from multiple CFOs across the United States. You guys are exposed to multiple cases, the lessons learned that both bring to the table. I think that's what makes it valuable, at least for the time being, to be an outsourcing to the company, and eventually we provide the tools, the knowledge, some kind of intellectual property that that company is working with, and then they make the decision as they grow. If they're in-sourced, we'll keep it outsourced.
At the end, they reach a point where potentially they need a full-time CFO, and then we could even help them find them. Because we have also a piece of the company that is the recruiting arm of a CFO. Yeah, so it's exciting. It's exciting.
I mean, I think that's what's happening in the industry. I mean, I think all of us need to be in the mindset to start thinking a little out of the box, take some risk. We're not saying that everything is going to be perfect, but definitely bring in the right people with the right experience, sit down and define a discipline how to interact on a daily basis will ensure and will increase chances for success. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it.